Hey guys, welcome to the Investor's Guide of Memphis Real Estate. I'm your host, Dean Harris, and as always, I'm with Douglas Skipworth. How are you, buddy?
Hey man, doing great.
We're bringing you the podcast to give you the boots on the ground knowledge to be a successful real estate investor here in Memphis, Tennessee. Please like and subscribe to the Investor's Guide of Memphis Real Estate in our YouTube channel, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Show sponsors are listed on your screen below. We wouldn't be able to do this show without their support.
Nope.
Triumph Construction, River City Title, Cortland Financial, CrestCore Property Management, and Will Griffin with Griffin, Clift, Everton, and Mashmeyer. Yeah. I help buyers and sellers every day sell homes. So if you have that home you need to sell, Dean at CrestCore.com. And if you're a buyer that's coming into our market, shoot me that email so you can fill out our buyer profile link and you can get on that list to receive all our properties. All right. Today we're talking about manage the manager.
Yes.
Hot topic. It sounds as if we're... Well, let me back up. Whenever I say manage the manager, the first thoughts that pops in somebody's head is, what?
Wait, that's what I'm paying for.
Yeah. And when I say manage the manager, I'm talking about your property manager. Yeah. Why do people say manage the manager? I'm just throwing that softball at you. What's the most common, like, hey, this is what that means, just in a 30,000 foot view?
I mean, I think for me, it's a couple of things. It's trust but verify. It's there's really no such thing as passive income.
I hear you say that a lot.
You've been sold a bill of goods.
That's right.
There is as I would say, there's less active income, and so that's what we're talking about when you leverage other people's time. Yeah. But you still, I mean, at the end of the day, you're still in charge of your own financial future.
Yeah.
And so I think you have to keep some type of eye and tabs on it. Not to mention, you just need to be mindful of your investment.
I equate it to owning any business.
Yeah. Yes.
If you're a business owner and you hire someone below you
to run your business,
you're managing the manager.
You meet with that person, or at least you have something that allows you to keep up with the state of the business.
And that's managing the manager.
Correct.
So either way you look at it, if you're a business owner, even if you look at quarterly financials or something that's just yearly, you're managing the manager. It's just not very much. It's not very thorough or in depth, and that's maybe the business model. But most people are managing monthly, weekly, and some even daily. So this is kind of what we mean by that.
Yes.
So we talked about that for a minute. Nobody cares as much. This is more of a mindset and a philosophy that I want to put when you say manage the manager.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about your business more than you do. I don't even think it's possible for anyone to care more about your business than you do. If you're invested into your business and you're running it, you can find people that work it and care a lot. You can't find anyone that cares as much about it as you do.
I think
challenge me on that.
No. Because I think the key with what you just said is it's your business.
That's right.
Because guess what they care about most?
Their business. And right now, their business is running your business, but it still doesn't care as much as you do.
So all I would say to that is, like, how can you get in alignment? How can you get your incentives aligned? How can you both be kind of rowing in the same direction, working as a team?
Yes.
But they've got their best interests in mind. You've got your best interests in mind. Again, how do we work so that our interests are aligned?
That's right.
So that we can help each other.
Yeah. I just thought that was a great point to put out there, almost like a headliner. Nobody cares as much as you do. And then we'll dive into that, some of those specifics, but just in a big...
I mean, that's just a principle of life.
That's
that nobody
exactly
cares about your life more than you. Now, there are people who care for you.
Yeah, that's right. But they see, there's a fine line
but
here.
There's a fine line here.
They don't care as much as you do.
As much as you do.
Because at the end of the day, they get to lay their head down and
they got to care about themselves. They got to worry about themselves.
People hate hearing this, by the way. I don't really care. It's the truth. I mean, they just don't. Managing the manager doesn't mean that management isn't doing their job. No. It means that you're closely watching the people that you've hired to run your business. You would do this in other areas. So don't feel like when I say manage the manager, that's because he's got a crappy manager. That's the furthest from the truth, actually. When I'm managing the manager, I'm learning my business. I'm paying attention to it's just proper work ethic towards a proper attention to your business.
A proper attention to your business.
Yeah.
I call it minding the store.
There you go. That's
it's minding the store. What does that mean?
Yes.
It means different. I mean, it could mean that you have to do every job in the store if you don't have anybody to help you.
That's right.
Or it could be that you're the manager of the store, or you again manage the manager, and that's what we're talking about here.
It's
and
only
just minding the store.
It only makes sense that someone cares a little bit less than you do about something else. It just this we're going with that today, and I don't want to focus on like, hey, the manager cares less and they don't. But my point I'm trying to make is that when you manage the manager and you're following along with your business, it gives you way more education. It gives you way more intel. You're way more on top of your business, other than having someone else make every single decision for it. And then you looking up going, what happened? What are you going to do then? Whose fault is it? Then the name, then see what I mean? Where we go with that? Then it's pointing fingers and it's everyone else's fault but yourself. So I treat all these like a learning experience. I learned a lot about what not to do and what to do when you manage the manager, right? There's some things that you would maybe have done prior that you were doing when you were managing before you hired a manager or before you were paying enough attention, right? Yeah. There could have been some different things.
So I guess I would say, kind of to get maybe more granular, like what is, in your mind, what does managing the manager look like on a day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month, quarter-to-quarter, or annual, at what...
Current rent collection, where we're at for the month. I want to figure out where we're at and when they're late, how are they late, and what are we doing to collect?
Yep.
Maintenance that's coming across. What are we approving and how? And are they in line with me with what I typically like to just let flow through and what I like to kind of challenge? Mm-hmm. Because there are certain areas where the manager would need to say, ooh, we need a few more pictures here or there, or can you go trip the breaker outside? Oh, now your power's back on. Saves me $150, right? So a few things like that to where they can learn where we're at there. So managing the maintenance and the costs and the expenses of each house, I like to hear my maintenance, because if I got the same house that's coming in over and over and over and over again, there's something that's wrong with it. I need to figure that out. So to me personally, I like to watch that, because I don't believe it's difficult, I believe, to get a third-party property manager to look at that and go, hey, you've had 17 maintenance calls in the last 6 months, and we need to look at maybe selling this one. I don't know that that's totally reliant on their job.
Right.
They're just managing the property. I think you have to determine if you want to move it or not. So, or if it's keep it or buy more of them or whatever that is. And I think paying attention to that helps you there. Occupancy status. If I have any vacants, I want to know what they're doing to market the property. Yeah. Like where are we at? Do I need to lower the rent? Do I need to offer an incentive? Is this area not as high a rent as I thought it was? I'm just getting feedback from those leasing agents and figuring out, hey, what's going on? What's happening? So those are the areas. What I'm missing another one. Let's see, rent collections, leasing, managing the maintenance. That's typically on a day-to-day basis what I look at.
And weekly or monthly, any different?
I do look at just the overall maintenance totals every month. They usually run higher in spring and fall because of air conditioning and heat. So you can kind of look at patterns and see if you're breaking a pattern, if there's something abnormally large this year from last year. I do look at that. So I keep, the contractor we use will chart that for me. I mean, I can look at like last year's maintenance in a certain month. Mm-hmm. So that really helps. You can really start. Now I'm not historically a data analyst.
Right.
Excel and I are not friends. But I do enjoy getting some of those stats to figure out.
Yeah, you're very analytical.
Yeah. I just don't. I'm not going to sit
here
and
just. You're not a spreadsheet jockey.
Man, no.
Yeah. But you
senior All-American in Excel.
That's right.
No, I'm not. No. But I do break down numbers, and I try to look at. I do go with percentages on a lot of stuff, locations and things like that. So managing the manager to me is just being engaged and being involved. Now, if you got one house, you need to know. Yeah. But I don't know how much daily activity you're going to have. I've got enough houses where I feel like I've got daily activity involved with it when I manage the manager. Yeah. And I have a great property manager. CrestCore is great. And I have great history and great. So there's where I feel like you should be getting involved. Yeah. Working with your district portfolio manager and figuring out who, what, especially if you have a bunch of houses. I mean, I just think, being engaged and working with. So like that's probably the tone. I don't even manage my manager. I just work with them. You know, with our folks in here, I just work with those guys to make sure that I've got everything done correctly with my portfolio and my houses. So
In reviewing, you review the statements.
I review statements monthly on all of it, and I usually don't break them down. I just kind of look like, hey, this house is doing this is doing that, and get an idea of where they're at. And I annually from our bookkeeper, I'll get what's running in the red and what's running in black.
Okay.
And if there's I'm beginning that process now. If there's too many years in a row, I'm gonna sell it. So
that's right.
I haven't sold any yet.
Yep.
I'm 10. This is my 10th year of investing. Yeah, that's right. 9th of really buying. Yeah. I bought that first Battlefield. We've talked about that in 15. But so this is kind of my 10th full year of it, and I'm just now getting to where, hey, I'm breaking some of these down, and I'm going to start really trimming the fat. So there's where managing the manager comes in handy, because I'm very familiar now, at least with where to start. I have an idea in my head right now of the group I want to go start looking at first and diving down, and do I need to sell these or not? Yeah. And I think that's where I'm trying to encourage you guys as property owners, whether it's 1 or 100, to be. I want you to feel like you know what's going on with your portfolio. You can narrow something down here to a certain area and then take another deeper dive in. It's almost like, your screen, you're stretching your screen out, just come in, then take a little bit dive. So that was my message today about managing the manager. Most people do certain levels of this. I'm encouraging you to get more involved and understand your portfolio even more.
Yeah, and be available. I think one thing we didn't talk about is just being responsive to your
manager. Douglas, it's amazing that you're saying that, and I didn't add that to my list, but I can't tell you the times that I've heard from property managers, I can't reach so-and-so. Yes. So please be available, folks.
Yeah.
Be available to your property manager.
Say that again. You're saying that property management will say, hey, I can't get in touch with. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like people who are absentee owners.
Yeah, like what in the hell are you doing with an investment property over here, and the people that you've hired to run it can't even reach you?
To me, that is what part of what we're talking about. So it's not even the sense of like a taskmaster as much as like being engaged with your partner, your strategic partner who's managing this, that you've hired to manage that. So I think it's a big...
Yeah, because don't be that one that comes up later asking a bunch of questions of what happened.
Yes.
Those are the ones that do, by the way.
Yeah.
The ones that ask questions and point blame are the ones that we can't get in touch with.
Right. We get a property manager, like we've sent you emails, we've texted, we called, we left voicemails, whatever. We can't get in touch, so we're making decisions
that you don't like.
Yeah. So so mind the store, manage the manager. These are great. Trust but verify.
All good things to think about.
Yes. It's what the pros do.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking. We want you to be a professional. We want you to be successful, and this is what we're passing on, the information of what it is to do it right.
This is exactly what I do. This is what you do.
Oh, yeah,
we just broke this down to exactly how we manage the manager and the things that we verify and check over. So that's great. Anything else to add?
Awesome.
Dean@CrestCore.com. If you want to get on our buyer profile list, I'll send you a buyer link you can fill out. If you have anything to sell here, if you're listening now and you're in town and you've got investment deals you need to sell, shoot me an email, Dean@CrestCore.com. I'll be happy to help you. See you next time.